first challenge to become a doctor is to pass the Mcat test and score above 30 out of 45 within ideally 3 times of test taking. The Mcat is produced and administered by the Association of American Medical Colleges to provide a standard in the medical school admission process. While there are many test prep programs to help students for the test, the cost from hundreds to thousands of dollars make them unreachable for financially disadvantaged students. What do pre-med advisors have to say, and what are their suggestions?
What I typically say to students is I don't want any student to feel like they have to take a commercial company's course and spend $1,000, $2,000. It varies. I don't want anyone to feel like they have to do that, otherwise they won't do well on the exam, because that's just not true. So I think some students benefit from actually having to force themselves to go to a class to sit down because they might not have the motivation or their own willpower to study well on their own. And I ask a lot of students that do take different courses what they thought about it. And many students find it to be very helpful. Certain programs, they've said it's a lot of work. It's like an additional class in college. So I want students to realize that it's an investment what they're doing. It's not only money, but it's time, it's effort. If they're going to put in the money to take a class, they should get as much out of it as they possibly can.
As a pre-med advisor, you do not recommend students to take the test prep program?
No, because I know not everybody can afford it. I don't make a specific recommendation, say this is what you should do, but rather have them evaluate what is their situation financially, and then based on their financial situation, then at that point, that's why I direct them to multiple different types of prep programs. Like I said, Princeton Review, Kaplan, Exam Crackers, Dr. Flowers, they all have very different prices, and so therefore, depending on what the student can afford, they can decide that, and then if they don't feel that they can afford any of those specific programs, then the other option is also just to buy the the practice exams directly through Mcat and study on their own.
My advice is yes. I used to say no, but that was before I realized that the examination, the Mcat examination, is much different than the style of examination that we give. When I say we, the biology department. None of those programs are really designed to teach you material. They're designed to help you understand how the Mcat is put together and how to reason so that you can do better on the multiple choice questions.
We have offices on campus that help students with study strategies that kind of go through some of the verbal reasoning aspects and help them learn to read more quickly, to look for certain clues in reading passages. So there are ways on campus for students to kind of craft their own study plan, and they can purchase the AAMC practice exams, which I always encourage every student to do. There is a program through just different offices that'll help with Mcat preparation, in the summer for a couple of weeks. So students can look into different things on campus. Some of the commercial companies come to campus and offer free tests to practice. They're wanting to encourage students to use their services, but it's still a free exam that the students can take. So I always encourage students to make use of that. We'll do a workshop on Mcat study strategies. Students that have taken the Mcat before come in and kind of are like a panel.
We do hold a panel, so we invite students to come up and talk about their experience about medical school, and they do answer questions about preparation and stuff like that, but it's not specifically focused on Mcat.
You can get the Exam Crackers books. In fact, I have some of them here, which I loan to students, and so you certainly can do this on your own, much less expensively than by taking the course.
I think a lot of the students here at UIC do have the financial concern, and that's and encourage them to, sometimes I'll be alerted to when, you get $500 off, a program or something, for a certain promotional period. I encourage students to save money. Not only, the application process to medical school is expensive, but a test prep company, preparing them for the exam is expensive too. So I really encourage my freshmen and sophomores to save money. Even $10 a week is giving them a good chunk of money.
I think it's important that the students have some practice in learning how to take those kinds of exams. You come out of medical school at least $100,000 in debt. So, compared to that, $1,000 for an MCAT course, it might very well be a good investment.
As one of the largest test prep company in the nation, does Kaplan collect an actual number to prove how well their programs help students, and how?
We don't have a way of actually collecting the official test scores of every one of our students. We simply rely on students volunteering that information, and so of course that's not reliable data. Quoting test score improvement numbers is actually somewhat of a dicey business, because those numbers are easily manipulated, and there's a lot of ways that you can slice and dice that data to make it look like certain numbers are better than others. The AAMC not only produces the real MCAT, but they've also produced a series of 8 full-length practice tests. Students have unlimited access to those 8 practice tests, in addition to 11 other practice tests that Kaplan has written. What we generally see is that those students who take the greater number of practice tests go into their exam with a much higher level of confidence around their performance.
Besides offering different prices, products, and discounts through club partnership like American Medical Students Association, Kaplan offers additional assistance to serve low-income students.
We also have the formal need-based tuition assistance program that any student who demonstrates a financial need can partake of. This is available whether or not a student is involved with a certain club or certain organization. This is just based on the student alone. We also offer scholarships for students. For example, we sponsor an advisor scholarship for every pre-med advisor who can take that scholarship and give it to a student who's economically disadvantaged or educationally disadvantaged. We have a commitment to our students to provide the prep that they need, and we don't want a student's ability or inability to pay for that prep to be the determining factor. So we have the financial aid or the tuition assistance, which is need-based, which can bring the tuition of an MCAT course down by 40 or 50%.
AAMC offers fee assistance program to pre-med students with financial concerns. The program reduces the MCAT registration fee from $235 to $85 and waives the application fees for up to 14 medical schools.